Haven't you lot got homes to go to?
You know, us boss noses to the grindstone.
Since when?
Always.
I suppose it's the first time for everything. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll do it, I've told you.
You do what?
Clean out the Coro cupboard.
Oh, I don't believe it. Just don't forget to switch out the lights when you go.
Yep.
I say Dad should do it. Why isn't that? Because he's not here.
That's not fair.
I've said I'll do it. I'm capable, all right?
I don't know, mate. Your idea of a suitable present for a 50-year-old copper, I don't know.
Are all those in favour, Dash, say aye?
Aye.
Does the ayes have it?
That's it. You coming, mate? Yeah, I'll see you in a minute.
Well, you and Ben are quite the perfect flatmates.
Yeah, well, he's a great bloke. He's a fantastic cook, and he's really tidy.
But he's still getting in the way, isn't he?
Yeah, I just haven't had a chance to tell him, Mags. I've been a bit busy lately, you know.
You do want him to go, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dash is staying at Mum's place again tonight.
Ah, good.
So, we've got the house to ourselves.
Good.
After all, you wouldn't choose Ben's cooking over me, would you? Get out of here.
Emergency!
Hey?
Come on, open up!
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Come on, man. You gotta help me. You gotta come now.
No, mate, look, you're not going to get any help. The only help you're going to get is you go home and you sleep it off, all right?
No, mate, this is serious. We can't find her, eh?
It's just as well, buddy. I mean, you go home, you sleep it off, you explain everything tomorrow and you're a bit more coherent, all right?
Well, no, look, you don't understand.
Mate, I don't want to understand. Good night.
Look, listen to me, you prick.
Listen. Hey, do you want to spend the night in the lockup? Is that what you want?
No, look, mate, look. People die out there, eh? If we don't find her, mate, she's dead.
Looking for a woman aged 32, blonde, shoulder-length hair. Her name is Lee Johnson. She was last seen wearing an olive green parka, blue jeans, and a grey-blue turtleneck pullover. Now, she's camping down here with her husband, Greg, a friend, Joanna Bowen, and their guide, Aussie Andy. Now, he raised the alarm. We've got a photograph of Lee here. Can you pass that around? Make sure you get a look at that before we go out. Has anyone got any questions? OK, let's go.
Lee! Is there any reason she went wandering off on her own?
Well, not according to this Andrews character. He's a so-called guide, but he wasn't there when it happened. In the state he was in, he wouldn't have noticed if she'd been kidnapped by aliens. Or some wild woman of the woods come to that.
Well, if the Benny doesn't grab you, how about this?
I always thought you had lice, McKinley. I'm glad you've done something about it.
It looks good, really.
Terrific.
Yeah, you've got a good head for it, McKinley.
Yeah.
Well, it'll save me a lot of time in the mornings, and people can rub my head for good luck.
You could light a match on that, couldn't you?
I doubt if the rest of us had looked quite so attractive.
You
You look all right, Dad.
Very much. Do you want to have a word to this missing woman's companions when Adam brings them in?
Oh, any suspicious circumstances yet?
No, not yet.
Well, you don't need CI. I've got plenty to do.
Oh, sure.
Good night. Yeah, you? Yeah, I just took some work home, kept me busy. How's the baby shower?
Well, I actually had a really good time. You know, those little booties, little baby jackets.
Oh, you're not getting plucky, are you?
Maybe I am. And what about you?
Well, I don't think so. Not for quite some time. Oh, come through, please.
I was a bit worried you might have fallen in your bucket.
Yeah, well, I guess it'll grow back eventually. I just wanted to cut it off before it fell out.
I doubt if I could do it. I'd look like a blimp or a barrage balloon.
What's a barrage balloon?
Never mind. Every time you look at your reflection, you're just going to remind yourself you're sick.
I wanted to do it of my own choosing, not the chemo's. I can't just pretend I'm not sick. People would eventually know.
They'll all think different things. Not everyone's going to assume that your appearance means you've got cancer.
Well, whatever people think, I'm just trying to get on with my life as normally as possible and just have some say over what's happening.
As soon as you're finished, I'll need you inside.
Ground Air 490, Sector 1 clear.
Roger, Air 490, moving to sectors 2 and 3.
Met on the station, met on 208 on mobile. Have you found anything yet?
Nah, nothing so far, Nick. Looks like we're going to have to widen the search.
Just make sure you don't get yourselves lost, buddy.
No worries, mate. The moon still rises in the east, doesn't it?
We looked around for her, but she'd disappeared. I'd gone back to help Joe.
Well, had something happened to her?
No. She was just tired. Anyway, I had the torch, so I thought Lee was waiting.
But she obviously wasn't there.
No, she'd just gone. I mean, I called out for her to hang on, you know, to wait for us, but there was no answer. So we both started shouting for her. Me and Joe.
Have you got any news?
Not yet.
Could she be? It could only have been minutes. I mean, she must have just kept on walking into the dark.
Mr. Johnson, can I get you a glass of water?
So, do the three of you often go away together?
All the time. Lee and I run a clothing business together. Joe works for us. I mean, she's Lee's oldest friend. They went to school together. I just don't understand how something like this could happen.
So you dropped behind on the walk?
That's right. I was having trouble keeping up with the others, and Greg came back to see if I was okay. And, well, that's when Lee must have just gone on.
And disappeared?
Yes. It was only a matter of minutes.
So, how long have you been pregnant?
6 months.
Aussie Andy's Outback Adventures.
Yeah, that's right. What's wrong with that? It's a city wankers in, doesn't it? They can spend a couple of days with me and go back to their nice air-conditioned offices and tell their yuppie mates how they've been roughing it in the bush.
How rough is it for them exactly?
You are joking. Ask them to light a fire and they burn the whole bloody national forest down. I do everything. I pitch the tents, cook the food, dig the dunnies.
If they're so inexperienced, why did you let the Johnsons and Miss Bowen wander off by themselves?
Now, wait a minute. You're treating me like a suspect. This is not my fault.
We're just trying to establish what actually happened, Mr.
Come on, it was a bushwalk. I mean, there was a track. I told them exactly where to go and how to get back. It should have taken them 20 minutes.
Even in the dark?
They had a torch. Look, it should have been fine.
You weren't worried when they didn't get back on time?
Well, no.
Why? Why not?
Well, I'd fallen asleep, hadn't I? I'd been doing all the bloody work, remember? I was tired.
So Sergeant Schultz said. Tired out by a bottle of Bundy, from all accounts.
So I had a few drinks.
And you fell asleep?
Yes. Look, all I remember is waking up and hearing Johnson and that Bowen woman yelling and shouting. I don't know nothing else.
So what happens now?
Well, I'm afraid we just have to wait, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, look, no way. Look, I've got to try and do something.
I can drive you back out the park if you want.
Mate, if I were you Outback Andy, I'd leave it to the experts.
Mate, I know that area like the back of my hand.
Yeah, OK, it's got to be better than just sitting around here. What about you, Joe?
I'm fairly tired, actually.
Well, I could take you to the hotel if you like, get you a room to rest in.
I'd appreciate that, thanks. Don't worry, Greg. It'll work out. I know it will.
There you go. Now, is there anything else you need?
No, this is fine. I'm very grateful.
Oh, it's all part of the service. So, what are you hoping for, a boy or a girl?
I don't really mind. Just as long as it's a healthy baby.
What about your husband?
Who knows? He walked out when I got the news.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sure he had his reasons. And we weren't married.
But you decided to have the baby?
That's right.
It was very brave.
It's not as brave as it sounds. I couldn't do it without Lee's support. She can't have children herself, so she's going to help me bring my baby up. A lucky kid. It'll have 2 mothers.
Here you go. Room 4 at the top of the stairs. Why don't you have a bit of a lie down and I'll bring you up a cup of tea, eh?
Oh, look, to tell you the truth, I'm not surprised. It's the one that no one else has come to grief on one of Aussie Andy's trips.
Oh, he hasn't got a very good reputation then.
Not around here. A bit too much of this.
So he likes a bit of a drink.
So I've heard.
Thanks, Chris.
So he's somehow responsible for her disappearance, and this is all based on a rumour once removed.
Well, there could be some truth in it. According to Chris, Andrew's tours were an accident waiting to happen. There was always something going wrong, and apparently on the last trip some clients' jewellery went missing.
So it sounds like we could use some CIA involvement here after all.
No missing jewellery was reported to us.
I'm just passing on what Chris said.
It might be worthwhile having a chat with Aussie Andy, mate.
Righto, boss. I go and put my gumboots on.
See, I come to give us a hand again. We're on it, mate.
Kidding me? I left you foot sloggers. Came to have a word with Andy. Where is he?
I don't know, Mr. Johnson. Have you seen Andy?
Said he was going to take a look up on the bluff.
Oh, rightio, thanks.
I thought the woman went missing down by the creek.
Andy had some theory that she doubled back in the dark and lost her way.
Fancy a change of scenery?
Yeah, what do you got in mind?
I think we'll check out Andy's theory. And have a look at the local lovers' league as well.
Where's he gone?
No. So, have you ever brought a woman up here?
Oh, well, you'd be surprised, Benjamin.
So, vertigo doesn't dampen your passion, eh?
None of your bloody business. And talk about dampening my passion. When are you moving out of my house?
I haven't seen any signs of a woman in your life, mate.
And why do you think that is? This place has become my second home.
Jeez, I didn't know I was cramping your style, mate. I thought you liked living the life of a monk. Besides, mate, you're on a good wicket. I cook every night. You'd have to go back to eating at the Imperial. You thought about that?
That is a shocking thought, yes.
Look at this. Bit of an earring.
Yeah. Let forensic have a look at that, eh?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Andy. All right. Path over there, mate.
Let's have a look.
You want a hand, mate?
What?
Yeah.
No, mate, I'm fine.
Mate, you all right? Hey, guys, over here, I found something.
I think I found her.
Yeah, it's definitely her. Her body was so burned we had to ID her from a diamond ring that matches the description that the husband gave us.
He's off with another group at the moment. They're informing him now.
So what are we looking at here?
It's hard to tell. We'll have to wait until forensics get here.
Maybe she took shelter in a little fire to keep warm.
Yeah, Cooper, you remain there. I'll try and contact PJ. You just keep looking.
Good luck. I've had trouble raising anyone.
Stuart to base. Anybody? No, there's nothing, mate. I'm going to have to go back and get some help. You back, how do I get back?
Oh, yeah, right.
You can't walk on a twisted ankle, mate.
Oh, look, it's not a broken leg. You don't have to shoot me.
Come on, mate. You all right?
Mount Thomas Station to Mount Thomas 508.
No answer, huh?
Absolutely nothing.
You're wasting his time, you know. He's out there, he's surrounded by the bush, he's taking the view, he's being a man. I mean, most men would give their right arm for such an opportunity.
Mount Thomas Station to Mount Thomas 508.
You're just wasting your time, Dorley.
Mount Thomas Station to Mount Thomas 508.
No, this is stupid, mate. You just have a rest here. I'll go get some help.
No,
you can't
no,
walk on that
bloody
leg.
fib, mate. You could be gone for hours. Anyway, we still got to find this missing woman. Oh. And you're cooking dinner tonight, aren't you? Doing a roast?
What, so you like my cooking then, do you?
Oh, yeah, that's all right. Well, all right, I like your leg of lamb.
But that's slow roasting, when the skin's all crisp and sweet.
Yeah, that's it.
If that's what you want, mate, you're going to have to walk for it. Come on. Come on. Oh, mate. Oh, think about that, mate.
Hey?
Roast lamb. lightly steamed veggies, eh?
Oh, yes.
Nick, we've found a hot spot here. The remains of what looks like a heater, and an accelerant's been used.
Any idea what?
Could be Kero.
What a crime scene say?
Not here yet.
What about PJ?
No sign of him. We're still looking.
Just keep us informed. Matt's on the station, over.
Right. Mr. Johnson! Mr. Johnson! Mr. Johnson! Calm down. Mr. Johnson, relax, okay? Relax. Just listen to my voice. Breathe. Just listen to me. Now, mate, we think we might have found your wife, okay? Mr. Johnson! Calm down. All right, you can't go any further. It's for your own sake.
What happened to her?
Well, we don't know the full details yet, but it seems she took shelter in a hut somewhere and somehow caught on fire.
Fire?
I'm afraid so.
You mean she was... What a horrible way to die.
Are you all right?
You...
Chris! I need an ambulance!
Where you going?
Oh, I'm a bit worried about PJ and Ben. It's isolated out there. We've already got one person missing. We don't want
I
to
thought
add
it was
those two
only
to the
women who
list.
had a bad sense of direction.
Oh, not from this distance.
Yeah, all right. Have a nice trip. Don't forget to ride.
What do you reckon my chances would be if I was to get the house by myself one night and cook up some cordon bleu special and invite around a potentially significant female?
Oh, yeah? Anyone in particular?
Oh, maybe.
Mate, you're on the wrong track. Look, women don't understand food like men do. I mean, look, all the people on television, you know, with their cooking shows, they're all men.
And their sticks.
Yeah, now, look, think about it, like Mags, right?
Yeah.
Think about Mags. Now, to her, food is strictly fuel. Now, you give her some pine chips, right? Pine chips, caviar, truffles, no difference.
No, come on, mate. No,
palate,
you said yourself that my roast lamb is irresistible. Now, how could any woman pass up my caramelised pumpkin or my crispy skinned potatoes, huh?
Crispy skin potatoes. I love crispy potatoes.
So what do you reckon? Is it suicide? Bit of an unusual method, unless you're a Buddhist monk.
Not impossible.
We won't know until after the autopsy.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you.
So where were these two?
No, lost in the bush.
No, we weren't lost. See, I stuffed his ankle.
I'll get you a medic, mate.
Get out of it, I'm fine. Anyone I find is Andrews blokes asking a couple of questions.
Oh, God. Lee.
Mr. Johnson.
PJ, homicide are happy for you to start a preliminary investigation.
Homicide, or we're talking murder now?
Until we get definite confirmation of suicide or accident, yes. Aussie Andy would be top of my list for a quiet chat.
Yeah, mine too. We saw him in the bluff in the national park, and when we went to have a chat with him, he took off, so he's obviously got something to hide.
He must have come back via the road. All right, Ben, do a licence check so you can get his vehicle rego number. Nick, you have a look into Andrew's background. And the Johnsons as well, for that matter. See if there's any reason the wife might have had to take her own life.
Is there anything specific I should be looking for?
I don't know, the usual money, marital problem.
Well, hang on, I'm supposed to be handling this, aren't I?
You will be as soon as you stop limping. So get over to the hospital and get that ankle seen to. Now, Doyle, run him over.
With pleasure.
Ow!
You were worried about me, weren't you, Mags?
No.
Yeah, so why did you come out all that way then?
Well, if you really must know, I was more worried about Ben being out there alone with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, easy.
Sorry.
Easy. I'm in a bit of pain here.
Hey, what happened to you?
Ah, nothing much. Just fell off the trapeze. What are you doing here?
I'm just waiting for Zoe to check Joanna Bowen. Thought I'd hang around, see how she is.
Why, well, what happened?
She collapsed after I told her about Lee's death.
And fainted.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting to see how everything is. She's pregnant, remember?
Did she say anything before she collapsed?
Only that it was a horrible way to die and the shock seemed to hit her. Where are you going?
Oh, I just want to have a word to her.
No, not in her state. She's just been told her best friend's been burned to death. She could have a miscarriage or something, PJ.
Hey, Zoe, you might have a word to Miss Bowen.
She's just had a very traumatic couple of hours, PJ. Okay, just go easy. You can have 5 minutes.
Now, is there any reason why Lee would take her own life? Was she worried, upset about anything?
Well, he was very happy. We were having a good time.
Anything you can offer?
Well, perhaps me being pregnant.
What, was that a problem for her?
It was starting to get that way, yes.
But I thought that she was happy for you. I thought she wanted to help with the baby.
In the beginning, yes. But once I began to show, I think it got harder for her to deal with. It wasn't Lee's fault. You have to understand what she'd been through. A few years ago, she had cancer. And luckily they found it in time and treated it. But the chemotherapy made her infertile. And she was desperate for a child. She tried everything. IVF. It was no use. Then when I got pregnant, it seemed to help.
You better leave Mrs. Bond to get some rest and everything.
Joanna, thank you very much for your time. Okay?
You coming, Costa?
I want you to stick around and have a talk with her.
Another talk?
Anything she can tell you about Lee.
Like what?
I don't know, anything at all, woman to woman, okay? Something about this doesn't add up. I'll see you back at the station.
Why are you limping?
Huh? Oh, can I tell you about it when you strap my ankle?
Oh, as long as I don't have to carry you. Come on.
She got it yet?
Has who got what?
The boss is present, Dash.
Oh, I doubt it. She's been at the hospital most of the day.
Time's running out, you know.
That's right.
Look, my offer is still open. I can do this.
What have you got in mind, Einstein?
Set of lawn bowls.
Oh, lawn bowls. I can tell you thought about that, mate.
Well, he's reached the right age. You know, the legal ones would be happy to see him down there on the green.
What's
bowling.
wrong with trust?
Mate, what about a year's subscription to Gutbusters?
No, you leave it to me, thank you. I'll do it.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely. Best person for the job. How's the ankle, Hopper?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's all strapped up. And, mate, may I say that Zoe Hamilton has the hands of an angel. Yeah, she does. Now, how are you going with the Johnson file?
Oh, pretty straightforward. It's very much like they said. They've got a clothing business. Joanna works for them. That's it. Laura's going to ring me back later.
Oh, yeah, and Andy Andrews?
Ah, it's a different story. Chris was right about him. He's got a history of alcoholism, rooms of petty theft on his tours. So if there's anything sus about it, let's stand to him.
Nothing concrete to go on,
No.
though. All right, tough.
Dash! Now, it is a great pity you weren't here earlier. I took Joanna Bowen back to the Imperial Way. Well, because you've been at the hospital all day, far too preoccupied with babies, now I am the one who's going to have to get the boss's birthday present. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. When I was at the hospital, Joanna was talking about Lee. And it turns out she had cancer and she had chemo and she went into remission. Oh, that's a great thing, isn't it? Yeah, except the chemo made her infertile. So, I just can't remember what they said when I first found out. I think they mentioned something about freezing your eggs, something like that, and... You know, Maggie, the only thing that was going around in my mind at the time was cancer. I've got cancer. Do you know, I would have even considered it before, but, last night I was just watching my sister with a baby. And I thought, I'd like to do that.
And now I might not even have the choice. I'm sure you're going to be okay. But even if you look at the worst possibility, the adoption or IVF, yeah, Lee tried IVF and it didn't work and she got depressed. You know, she was watching her best friend go through a pregnancy and it was a constant reminder to her that she couldn't do that. I don't want to end up bitter like that. I know you and that won't happen. Teacher, I'd like to get some more information on Lee Johnson's medical history.
It's about Dash, huh?
Yeah.
Let's have a chat to Greg first.
My wife was clinically depressed, Detective.
You didn't mention this before, Mr. Johnson.
But I didn't think it was relevant. I didn't know what had happened to her.
So now you think that your wife's death was suicide?
I don't know, perhaps.
Was she taking antidepressants?
Yes. She was supposed to be. That's an unfilled prescription.
But she wasn't taking these before her death?
No.
Was this on doctor's advice?
No, look, Lee was really trying hard to do without the drugs. I mean, that's why we came out here in the first place. You know, to be together and try and help her through it.
Mr. Johnson, Lee had been treated for cancer in the past. Do you think that could have contributed to her state of mind?
I'd say definitely. Lee had breast cancer, and with all the media reports about the number of deaths, she was terrified.
Well, she was in remission, though, wasn't she?
That's right, but, you know, she was always scared it would come back.
Detective, can I have a word with you, please?
Excuse us.
Mate, 3 bits of info for you. What do you want first?
The one least likely to unmake my day.
Right. Or Aussie Andy's still missing. Ben and Adam are out there searching for him.
Righto, next.
Next, pathology report on Lee Johnson. She was dead before she was burnt.
Cause?
Injuries consistent with falling from a considerable height. Well, that's what it says in black and white there, bud.
So it's not suicide. Number 3.
Aussie Andy again. He's currently facing civil action over an incident on one of his tours 2 years ago. He charges assault on a woman, causing her to fall and severely injure her.
It was him, wasn't it? That bastard killed my wife.
Right, just calm down,
calm down.
What are you going to do about... Where is he?
Come on.
Where is he right now?
Take a seat, thanks.
I want to know what you're going to do about this.
Take a seat, thanks.
Mount Thomas 208 to Mount Thomas Station.
Mount Thomas Station, go ahead, Adam.
We've spotted his van. We're in pursuit now.
All right, approach with caution.
Come on, mate. Pull over, you mongrel. Off you go, keeper.
Get off me! Go, you Aussie Andy. Let's have a bit of a chat, mate, eh?
Look, I had nothing to do with what happened to the Johnson woman.
All right, now, Andy, why did you try and take off from 2 of our members when they tried to pull you over this afternoon? Can you tell me that?
Because I guessed I'd get the blame.
Get the blame?
Because of what happened before.
Well, what happened before?
Well, I never assaulted that old crow. I mean, sure, there was a bit of a slanging match, but I had nothing to do.
Forget about that. I don't give a stuff about what happened before, mate. What I care about is what happened last night.
What about last night?
Well, Lee Johnson allegedly went off on her own. Now, was that because she had an argument with you?
No. Look, how many more times it wasn't me?
Can you prove that?
Look, I'll level with you, all right?
Good.
Maybe I had a few more rums than usual. And maybe I shouldn't have let them go off in the dark by themselves. But I never laid a finger on it. Not a finger. Well, how could I have done? I was passed out.
So you say.
Look, it's the truth. Look, why do you think I came back next day and helped look for her? Why do you think I raised the alarm?
Andy, we saw you on the bluff, then you took off. Now, why is that?
Look, all right. The longer it took to find her, the more I realised something serious must have happened, and the blame had all come back on me. And that's why I ran. All right, OK, so charge me for being stupid, but that's all I was. Stupid.
Where are you taking him? Not letting him go, eh?
No, Mr. Andrews is helping us with our inquiry, sir.
So what can we do for you, Mr. Johnson?
Look, it's Joanna. She needs to see her own obstetrician.
I just wondered if it was OK for me to go back to Melbourne now.
Can't see any reason why not.
So there's no problem. If you just leave us your full contact details. You too, Mr. Johnson, if you're going.
Yeah, well, look, I'll leave you my business card.
Good. We'll be in touch.
I just wanted to say thank you for how kindly you've treated us. Especially you.
Well, good luck with your baby.
I missed all the fun, have I?
Oh, that's what you call it. Oh, someone rang for you too. It's on your desk. John Such.
John Such, eh?
The thing is, why would Andrews want to kill Lee Johnson?
Well, perhaps he came on to her and she was going to tell her husband.
No, but he wasn't there when she disappeared, and that's been corroborated by Greg and Joanna.
Could have found her later.
Well, before or after he woke Nick up. Doesn't add up.
Hey, mate, I just said John Such. He's Greg's lawyer on the phone.
Oh, yeah? What did he have to say?
Well, not too much he'd want to talk, but I got the name of Greg's accountant out of him.
What, he said?
Well, he was more forthcoming. He said that Greg was trying to put in place a mechanism to buy half his wife's business without his wife knowing about it.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Thanks, mate. Oh, we should do a check on Joanna Barnes' relationship with Greg Johnson.
Right.
Thanks for that. Dash.
I thought your money was on Andrews.
I've got to keep your options open.
What?
When you were with Joanna at the pub, did you notice anything unusual about her relationship with Greg?
Like what?
Well, you know, anything that sounded strange or inappropriate.
Well, considering what they've been through, I don't think so. They're pretty close, special friendship. What do they say? Two's company, three's a crowd.
I feel better when I know my own doctor's just a phone call away.
Yeah, I can understand that. Look, I hope everything goes well.
Thanks.
Mr. Johnson, we just need to ask you a couple of questions before you leave.
But we've told you everything we know.
I understand that, but a few things need to be clarified.
But I thought we could go.
It's routine.
It's okay.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
You like this?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Oh! Oh!
Why can't I just get some answers here? It's a pretty simple request, isn't it?
Mr. Johnson, what's going on?
Well, that's what I'd like to know. You've scared Joanna half to death. She's back in hospital. Now, look, there's more need than ever for our own specialist.
Adam, can you show Mr. Johnson through to the interview room, please?
Look, what is going on? Well?
Oh, she's in shock. It's nothing serious.
Yeah, but why have you brought him back?
I'll explain in a minute. Dash, you get down to the hospital. I want to know if Joanna says anything at all, OK?
Yeah.
This had better be good.
Hey, PJ, I reckon you'll like this. It's a report back from forensics into this bit of earring that we found that was busted up in the bluff.
Huh.
It belonged to Lee Johnson, all right. She was wearing the hook in her left ear and she still had the other one on. Now, what I want to know is, how was it broken?
So it looks like you had plans for a new life.
I don't know where you got that idea from.
Well, you were changing the structure of your business, though, weren't you?
Perfectly legitimate transactions.
Did your wife know about them?
Of course she knew about them.
Well, your accountant doesn't seem to think so.
You mean my ex-accountant? He had no right to give you that information.
Well, why would you keep it secret from your wife?
Look, I was responsible for certain aspects of the business. Lee trusted me.
I'm sure she did, Mr. Johnson.
If you're trying to say I was responsible for my wife's death, you're wrong. Do you honestly think I would burn my own wife to death?
No, I don't, sir, because you already knew she was dead, didn't you?
What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is I think the three of you went for a walk, you ended up on the bluff, that there was some sort of an argument, altercation, there was a struggle, that your wife was pushed over the edge. She ended up dead. Not in the fire.
This is absolute nonsense, all right?
We found this earring up on top of the bluff and now it belonged to your wife. The other bit that's broken off was still in your wife's ear when she was found in the hut.
I don't know. She must have lost it sometime in the last 2 days.
Well, that's very possible, but I think that she lost it in a struggle. And when we examine the area below the bluff...
Get forensics onto it and crime scene. I'm sure they'll come up with all the evidence that we need.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about, all right? I just want to get my friend back to her family in Melbourne and bury my wife in peace.
How is she?
She's going to be fine. I'm a bit worried about the baby, though.
She's going to lose it.
Oh, it's hard to say. How are you, Dash? How are you coping with the chemo and everything?
Yeah, I'm okay, I guess.
Except for...
Except I was wondering,
I know they must have told me at the time, but I can't remember. With the chemo, apparently you might not be able to have children.
Yeah, it can cause infertility in some cases.
So what would the risk be for me?
Look, 5 years ago, you would have been looking at a 50% chance of becoming pregnant. But these days, there's a 93% chance that you'll be a mother.
93%?
It's a pretty good average. And, you know, we're learning new stuff all the time. 25 years ago, you wouldn't have even been here having this. Just wait here, Dash. Nurse, observation ward.
Is it about Joanna? Is she all right?
Yeah, she's fine, Greg.
What's happened?
Oh, could be bad news about her baby.
Oh, God, not that.
It's your baby, isn't it?
We came here to tell Lee about Joanna and I. We'd fallen in love. Joanna's pregnancy meant we couldn't keep it secret for much longer.
So you thought that you'd bring Lee here and you'd confess everything, and you still keep your relationship?
I guess it was stupid, all right? Anyway, Lee didn't like the idea much, and we argued. She fell. It was an accident.
So how'd you go from falling to being burnt in the heart?
I panicked. I figured you guys would find out about Joanna and I, and the whole thing would look too set up, you know, like we'd planned it all.
So what did you do with the body?
I carried her up to a hut I'd seen the day before. There was fuel and stove, and, you know, I thought I could make it look like she'd had an accident while she was lighting the fire.
If you'd left the body where it was, the real scenario would have been discovered and you wouldn't be facing charges now.
We honestly thought we could work it out and hold on to the friendship. We were the best of friends.
So Lee's reaction wasn't what you expected, huh?
Well, she was so desperate for a child, we thought she'd be happy to share the experience.
What, and happily give up her husband?
It was almost as if she was trying to kill my unborn child. Greg tried to drag her off. I don't know what happened, but somehow she slipped and just fell off the edge. Greg told me to go back to the camp and wait.
Joanna, did he at any time tell you what he was going to do?
I had no idea until you came and told me you'd found Lee's body.
So a woman betrayed.
Exactly, and they didn't bank on Lee going berserk and attacking Joanna physically either.
Tell you what, mate, Greg sure put on a good acting display when he first saw Lee's body. I mean, he must have rehearsed that throwing up.
No, apparently not. He said he didn't hang around after he lit the fire and he had no idea what it could do to human flesh. He said the whole thing was his idea. Apparently, Joanna had wanted to come clean from the very beginning.
Oh, right, so she's just an innocent accomplice.
Do you mind if we get the formalities out of the way?
Go ahead.
John Louise Bowen, you're going to be charged with attempting to pervert the course of justice and obstruction. You're not obliged to say or do anything, as anything you say or do may be recorded and given in evidence. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you wish to say anything in answer to that charge?
No.
Good luck.
Do you think it was worth it?
How do you mean?
Or Lee's life? For this?
Well, that's up to you, really.
But what do you think?
Well, Lee's dead. There's nothing you can do about that now. And you're having a baby. Something she wanted more than anything else in the world. So you just got to love it. You've got to make sure it grows up healthy. Make that worth something.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, it's fun. Because I've decided I'm going to have a very big bouncing baby one of these days and nobody's going to stop me.
Fantastic. Just what Mount Thomas needs. Another McKinley.
You don't knock it, Mags. You were going to be its godmother.
Hello.
Oh, we've been waiting for you.
Really? What for?
Yeah, it's a big surprise.
Yeah. Well, you'll love it.
I paid a visit to your hairdresser, McKinley. I told you you had nothing to worry about. Are you ready for this?
Hey, you've got a good head for it.
Thank you. So have you.
Can I rub it for
Yeah,
good
if you must.
There you go. Okay, sir, if you'd like to come this way, please.
Now.
Just come this way.
Walk this way.
Surprise! 50 candles there, boss. I counted myself.
Yes, I'm sure you did,
But
sure.
we haven't got you a present because today...
Oh, yes, we did get you a present. There you go, boss. Happy birthday from all of us.
We're glad to think what it is.
Yeah, well. Par report, 1948. That's fantastic.
Yes,
Thank you,
I
that.
tried to get a 200-year-old bottle, closer to your age, but...
How did my idea go down?
Very well.